Hey yo, what's the groove with the Chico army and any newbies who I call the viewers of the tube? You should know by now, but my name is Tyler, the host of the crypto channel, who will dance with you for a bit, but when we're over it, destroy. You know our pony's Polka. It's time for Chico Crypto. One by one, we've gone down the Ethereum rabbit hole this week, covering critical infrastructure pieces. We've covered scaling, data availability, decentralized oracles, privacy, and identity. That just leaves us two general sections to cover: critical DeFi infrastructure and critical DAO infrastructure. So let's start out with DeFi. Now you should know by now DeFi stands for decentralized finance. If it's not decentralized at its core, it's not DeFi. And let me tell you, there are many centralized DeFi fakers out there. So what is the critical DeFi infrastructure we should be paying attention to? Well, number one, a decentralized unstoppable stablecoin. So who has the first mover advantage and the infrastructure built on Ethereum positioning itself to be the stablecoin leader far into the future? Hands down, it's MakerDao Dai. Maker is the governance token and Dai is the stablecoin, which is created with crypto asset collateral held in smart contracts. So anyone can use it to create stable currency at any time. And since it's just computer code, it can't be shut down unless Ethereum gets shut down, which is next to impossible. So there's other stablecoins out there, Tyler. Why Dai? Well, you know my thoughts on USDT. It's a centralized bomb ready to go off. There's USDC, TrueUSD, Paxos, centralized too. Although there's more of a reason than just centralized versus decentralized. Now each of these are ERC20 tokens, all of them. They can have devs build on top of them and expand their use cases. So which one has all the developers? Well, Dai does, not so much the others. Per example, how many different forms of Dai are there right now? Well, there's a scalable xDai, a collaboration between POA and MakerDao. Then there's the private ZK-Dai from Aztec Protocol, who we covered yesterday. Shoo, it's a long list of Dai forms. Jordan Lyall has them all on GitHub. 26 different forms on the mainnet, 11 in development, and 2 new ideas. You don't even see 1% of this development on other stablecoins. There is no ZK-USDC. There is no XTether. And like I always say, follow the devs. And because of this, you don't see near the mainstream implementations. Centrifuge Tinlake using Dai. Pool Together using Dai. Sablier, Money Streams, they are using Dai. You see the common theme? And that common theme is continuing. 2 days ago, MakerDao tweeted, "Huge drop with Foundation apps. Some sweet NFTs are up for grabs, and you can use Dai to make them yours." And Foundation is a pretty damn sweet app. It's Uniswap Unisocks inspired, where limited edition physical items are tokenized, and they can be sold and resold, and then the token can be burned to redeem the physical item. And the price is based on bonding curves. But as you can see, clicking on buy, it's not a lie, it's built on xDai, but that's because it's actually using the scalable version of Dai, xDai. So you're stable, thus you're used in mainstream apps. It's a critical DeFi infrastructure piece. But what is the next piece? Well, the swapping of assets. And you guys better know I'm going to bring up Uniswap. It's dominating DEXs with over 58% market share, and the volume is over $408 million, which is unheard of for a DEX. And in the past, only centralized exchanges saw that type of action. Uniswap has had vampire attack week after week, which it has brushed right off, and it's becoming so clear that Uniswap isn't going anywhere anytime soon, and it is the de facto asset swapper on Ethereum's mainnet. So building a swapper, a Uniswap clone right on Ethereum, you're gonna fail. Building a swapper, not a clone, but it can't compete for liquidity on mainnet Ethereum. Thus you'll fail. Building a swapper on a vampire bullcrap, say your compatible Ethereum chain, the ultimate fail. Although I do see some other swappers growing because they provide something that Uniswap doesn't, and one of those is Balancer and its smart pools. So Uniswap liquidity pools, they are all based on a 50-50 split weight between the two tokens in the pool. Balancer, on the other hand, lets you adjust the weights and add more than just two tokens to the pool. For example, this pool contains 50% Balancer, 34% wrapped Bitcoin, and 16% wrapped Ether. This feature Uniswap doesn't have allows something special with Balancer. Pools within pools, and we got an amazing example of that this week from Ocean Protocol and their data token balancer pools, which are live on the mainnet right now with the Ocean market. Hey, liquidity pools for data. Now there are many other critical DeFi pieces, the Lego blocks ready to connect the blossoming Web3 ecosystem, but covering all of it would take me all frickin' day. And it's time for that DAO infrastructure, which I haven't covered much on the channel, but lately I'm realizing it's more than critical importance. So DAO, that stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization, and this is a group that has no central controller, and the group is governed or ruled by contracts set in computer code, smart contracts. So if you need smart contracts for a full-fledged DAO, it's gonna be built on Ethereum. Who has been building the DAO infrastructure for 4 years now? Aragon has. Aragon has over 1,600 DAOs created, with over $350 million in assets stored for use within the DAO organizations. And these communities include OneHive, those behind Uniswap, Aave Gache, Curve, Decentraland, District 0x, Mstable, PyDAO, and even Stake Capital. So what are these communities even doing, the DAOs? Well, they're managing their communities, like in PyDAO's case, voting on proposals, setting community agents, and clicking into finance, viewing transparently community treasuries and where the funds are going and why. So once again, follow the devs, and many of the devs are saying for DAOs, we are choosing Aragon. But Aragon, they funked up kind of, you could say. One of their more recent community proposals put forward was for ChainSafe to discontinue development of Aragon Chain and its ANT linked staking token ARA, which was going to be on Ethermint. In the rationale, it says Aragon Chain was originally announced October 1st, 2019, and was funded by the Aragon Association after ANT holders signaled their approval on AGP 1062. Since the proposal was approved, Aragon Chain's development has mostly consisted of developing Ethermint itself. So, ChainSafe, they were developing Ethermint and Aragon Chain, and Aragon team was the ones who promoted them to do it, and the community chose them to do it with a vote. And it looks to me that was a big old frickin' mistake. They say they want to drop it now? Below it says the main motivation for Aragon Chain was to allow Aragon organizations to operate more affordably by reducing the cost of transaction fees otherwise incurred on the Ethereum mainnet. During that time, we've seen alternatives like xDai that provide similar cost savings gain significant traction within the community. Then below, they get into other scaling solutions, like for voting with Snapshot, and they talk about a optimistic rollup, optimistic snapshot for voting. So what happened? Did the community vote to drop the Aragon Chain? Well, as we can see from the tweet, overwhelmingly, over 90% said drop it and let's work on the other stuff. And that other stuff includes optimistic snapshot and sidechains including xDai. Now many of you may be sick and tired of hearing me talk about xDai, but seriously, I'm not trying to. It's just everything seems to be leading right back to it in some form. So I'm going to end it on this note this week. Scaling with Ethereum. It needs to happen, and it needs to happen right now. xDai is a working solution that many are flocking to, including critical infrastructure pieces. Data availability. Ocean. They announced they were going to be building on xDai this week. DAO infrastructure. Aragon has been and will continue to build on xDai. Another critical infrastructure piece is a testnet, and xDai is going to become, in my opinion, the testnet for Ethereum. It's Canary Network, where developers will deploy first and test their new DApp or DApp features in an environment with economic consequences. Ethereum hasn't had that, and it needs it, and I hope people realize it should be a very valuable thing. Follow the devs, my friends. Cheers, I'll see you next time.